to cover the huge medical expenses for my girlfriend Evie. I became a male anchor who teases the line. During the day, I work diligently as a programmer in the cubicle. In the morning and evening, I work conscientiously as a nurse in the hospital ward. Late at night, I put on a mask and take off my coat. I show my body in the live broadcast room like selling goods. Finally, before I exhausted myself, her illness was cured. I bought flowers and a diamond ring and booked a high-end restaurant, while brewing up my emotions and planning to invite her to spend a lifetime with me. A slap came. Evie stood up straight and looked down at me sitting on the chair. A sneer curled up at the corner of her mouth. "Roman, you are so dirty." At that time, neither of us knew that this slap would change my life. When the slap hit my face, I was completely stunned. There was a buzzing sound in my head. People in the restaurant looked over because of this commotion. Their mouths opened and closed. They whispered and discussed something. Then expressions of either sympathy or mockery emerged. The stares of others made my face burn with stinging pain. After a long time, I regained my hearing. I heard myself ask in a trembling voice, "What happened?" I ask myself that I have never done anything wrong to her from the past to the present. "Still want to pretend?" Evie sneered and handed her phone to me. On the chat interface, her best friend sent several screenshots of the live broadcast. "Vivi, look at my new love. This muscle is so sexy. Woo woo woo. I can't control my wallet. Just as I can't control being with him in my mind." Evie enlarged the screenshot and pointed at my hand and said, "Don't try to deny it. There is a scar on the tiger's mouth of my right hand, left from a fight with a robber in the early years. It can be clearly seen in the picture. The once metal has become the evidence of guilt at this moment. This is indeed me." I sighed long, knowing that I couldn't hide it anymore. I confessed, "I lied to you. I can't raise so much money at all." Anger spread on her delicate and beautiful face. "Where is your dignity?" I forced a smile. "I know this is not a decent profession. I also know that in the eyes of many people, this is exchanging dignity for money. But I promised you that no matter what, I will let you survive. In my place, nothing is more important than your life." 3 years ago, Evie was diagnosed with a rare blood disease. There are less than 300 confirmed cases of this disease globally. Imported specific drugs must be used. The whole body must be transfused. The treatment process costs at least 2 million yuan. But there is only a 30% cure rate. At the moment of hearing the illness, I supported the chair to steady myself before I could stand firm. She was so scared that she cried. In these 3 years, Evie has cried in my arms countless times and begged me not to give up on her. She said that she was only in her 20s. She hadn't seen the beauty of the world yet. She hadn't been married. She hadn't been a mother. She didn't want to die yet. She said she wanted to grow old with me. She said that in this world, she only had me. I looked at this girl who had been with me since she was 18, had eyes only for me, and was crying like a flower in the rain at this moment. I assured her again and again, "Don't be afraid. With me around, nothing will happen to you." Making promises is easy. But when it comes to fulfilling them, there are difficulties everywhere. At that time, I had just graduated for a year. But I had already broken with my father, my mother's inheritance, my own savings, and all the money I could borrow amounted to only 1 million. The 1 million yuan that ordinary office workers don't know how long it will take to save up was spent in less than a year. But the illness still had to be treated. Bill after bill came. Helplessly, I could only take a side job. Influenced by my family, I have been a bit chauvinistic since I was a child. I think men should be upright, should shoulder their families and protect their women. This made me take her away from her painful original family on the day we established our relationship, and naturally took on her tuition fees, living expenses, and later huge medical expenses. Chauvinism makes me more responsible, but also makes it harder for me to let go of my pride. At the moment when the camera was turned on, I felt that my dignity and clothes fell to the ground together and were stepped on. My chest muscles stood up, but my spine bent invisibly. I imitated the impression of a male anchor who teases the line in my stereotypical impression. I posed kokakasly in front of the camera, said teasing and flattering words with an oily bubble voice. I earned 9 yuan and 50 cents in 3 hours. Looking at the pitiful amount of rewards, I laughed at myself. It turns out that the thing I am proud of and think I can never lose is only worth this much money. But my woman is still waiting for me to save her. I forced myself to treat selling my body as a serious business. I spent a lot of time and energy researching competing products, audiences, and trends, thinking about how to attract traffic and promote, designing my persona, props, actions, and words. In this way, I turned myself into an all-round studio. Finally, a month later, after I put on a dog tail and dog ears for myself and held a few times in contrast, the number of viewers in the live broadcast room increased from single digits to double digits. Under the unremitting efforts and optimization, it became 3 digits, 4 digits, and even 6 digits at its peak. I became one of the most famous late-night male anchors. The day before Evie was discharged from the hospital, I said goodbye solemnly to the audience in the live broadcast room. Thanked them for their company in the past 2 years. Although there were contemptuous looks, mockery, and too many moments of being disrespected along the way, it was also their generosity that let me get through the darkest moment in my life. Rich female fans cried and shouted and threw gifts asking me to stay. The amount of rewards that day set a record high. I know that if I continue broadcasting, I can earn more. But after going offline, I still deleted the software. This is not a career I want to stick to for a long time. And I don't want my girlfriend to know about this. After hearing what I said, Evie was stunned for a second. She bit her lip and said angrily, "Don't pour dirty water on me. I begged you to save me. But I didn't know you were so useless that you had to make money by being a gigolo. As soon as I think about so many people having seen your body, I feel dirty. Disgusting." I have thought about her reaction many times when she knows about this. I thought she would be angry that I hid it from her and wronged myself. Or she would be heartbroken and shed tears in guilt. Never thought that what I got after 3 years of working hard without a moment's slack was the word, disgusting. In more than 1,000 days and nights when I was so busy that I didn't even touch the ground. I also asked myself whether it was worth giving everything. The answer was always yes. But now, the previous firmness seems so stupid. I originally wanted to explain to her that this industry is not as filthy as she thinks. Tell her that I have never flirted privately with others or met them. My words and deeds in the live broadcast room were also under strict review and monitoring. But now all these are meaningless. The person in front of me has become someone I don't recognize. Or maybe this is the real her that I have never known before. For a moment, I just felt short of breath. And my heart was like being gnawed by 10,000 ants. Disgusting? I repeated. With a sneer. I said. But now this life of yours is saved by a disgusting person. The blood in your body is exchanged with disgusting money. Do you think you are disgusting? She seemed to have never expected me to say harsh words to her. She opened her eyes wide and looked at me in disbelief. I then taunted. You really don't know how hard it is to make money. Because for so many years, you have never earned a penny by yourself by eating and using mine. When it comes to being useless, I dare not compare with you. Evie's face turned red and then white. For a long time, she couldn't find a word to refute me. Finally, she completely lost patience and revealed her purpose today. Those are all your own will. I didn't force you with a knife. In short, no girl in the world can accept her boyfriend being a gigolo. I want to break up. The word break up was said passionately and firmly. It was obvious that it wasn't an impulsive decision. It suddenly dawned on me that she didn't break up because she couldn't accept my live broadcast. Instead, she deliberately made trouble with this matter to break up with me. When a person wants to leave you, your efforts for her become a kind of sin. Only by infinitely demeaning your efforts can she rationalize her change of heart and say break up with confidence. I stared at her firmly until she took 2 steps back, because of fear. Then I slowly said, okay. I agree. Sleeping with an ungrateful person. I'm also afraid of being bitten to death. But before that, return the treatment expenses to me first. I've calculated it. Excluding the reimbursable part. It's a total of 2,365,229 yuan. Back home, I got sick. 3 years of fatigue hit me all at once. I only felt dizzy and my hands and feet were cold. I fell straight on the bed. In the dream, Evie was sometimes coupeful and sometimes aggressive. The sweetness of the past and the ugliness of reality pulled in my mind, making my head split. After 2 days and 2 nights, I was awakened in a daze by a text message ringtone. Evie transferred 500,000 yuan to my account and attached a taunt, making money is not as hard as you said. How could a person who has never worked today gather so much money in such a short time? I hated myself for still subconsciously worrying about her safety. After slapping myself, I still shamelessly dialed that familiar number. It rang a few times before it was answered. A hoarse male voice came from the other end. Roman? The other side asked. Who are you? The other side laughed a few times. I am Mace. We met once before. I saw him downstairs a month ago. That time, when Evie went out for a walk and lost her cell phone and wallet. It was this kind-hearted Mr. Ma who sent her back. Recalling what kind of car Ace drove, I knew where this money came from. It seemed that since that day, Evie had some jewelry I had never seen before. And the frequency of dressing up was getting higher and higher. No wonder she was so eager to say break up. It turned out that my head was already full of green hats. I sneered and was about to hang up. At this time, I spoke again. I haven't thanked you yet. You raised her so deliciously. I had a very happy meal. The phone was moved a little farther away. The rapid breathing and sweet moans came from the other end. A wave of nausea surged up my throat. I vomited unexpectedly. 8 years of relationship, in an instant, disappeared without a trace. At the other end, Ace was still laughing. To thank you for your efforts over the years, I have prepared a surprise for you. I was on the hot search, and there were 2 topics at once. Coding by day and teasing by night. Boyfriend demands huge compensation after breakup. The matter originated from a post on a certain platform. The blogger claimed that her programmer boyfriend secretly became a provocative anchor behind her back and maintained improper contacts with multiple rich women in private. After she found out, she broke up angrily. But the other party demanded a huge amount of financial compensation and wanted to get back all the money spent on her over the years, including the expenses for their shared life. The issue of male-female relationships and marriage is inherently a traffic magnet. Coupled with deliberate promotion, the linkage of multiple platforms, and the vigorous forwarding by major marketing accounts and key opinion leaders, it quickly stirs up a wave of public opinion. Sure enough, men are so immoral. Poor sister. Just to be on the safe side, go for a checkup. This kind of man is very dirty. Not to mention this scumbag's cheating. What kind of stingy man is a man who asks for money back after breaking up? If you don't have money, don't pretend to be a big spender. This is not a relationship. It's about making money. Why should the woman bear the joint expenses? Does this man not live if he's not in a relationship? Such a stingy man. Seeing these upside-down remarks, I was so angry that I laughed. This is the gift Ace gave me, just by spreading rumors with one mouth. There are thousands of mindless followers helping to bite. This world is more upside down than I imagined. The criticism of me quickly developed into cyber violence. The original blogger kept saying that privacy should be protected and couldn't expose the boy's name and ID. But intentionally or unintentionally, she revealed information that could allow people to target me. My live broadcast room ID and real information were all dug out and spread to a certain extent before the cyber police intervened. Many fans who had supported me had to turn against me. My leader, who always gave me a hard time because I refused to flatter him, took the opportunity to persuade the higher-ups to fire me. Friends who had lent me money at that time all found reasons to demand repayment. I paid back the money one by one and blacklisted the person who hinted that I could waive the interest if I let him have sex with me once. Finally, my biological father, with whom I had long severed ties, also made a rare call, just to humiliate me. You shameless little beast. You have disgraced our old Jew family. If I had known that you would sell yourself when you grew up, I really regret not strangling you when you were born. Humph. What are you pretending? I sneered. No matter how bad I am, it's not your turn to say that. You old beast who cheated in marriage and killed my mother. After hanging up the phone, the world was quiet again. I stood on the rooftop, blowing the wind and looking at the neon lights below. But what did I do wrong? Does giving one's heart deserve to be trampled on? At this moment when I felt abandoned by the whole world, the ringtone rang again. Can we meet? I have a way to help you fight back. I backed up to the door of the private room and checked the room number 3 times. The charming and bright mixed-race beauty inside made it hard for me to believe my eyes. Seeing me standing there stupidly, the woman teased with a smile. What? Am I very disappointing to you? How could it be? I quickly shook my head. She smiled so beautifully that my face flushed instantly. I suppressed my racing heart and explained, I just didn't expect you to be so beautiful. More beautiful than any star I've seen on TV. Does that mean you think my soul is ugly? She gave me a sideways glance and pretended to be angry. I thought it would be more intellectual or domineering. I evaluated honestly. I didn't expect it to be a real-life Barbie doll. Alex is not only my first batch of fans and always the #1 supporter, but also an invisible volunteer worker in my live broadcast room. She not only thinks of some wonderful ideas from a female perspective for me, but also helps me contact suitable merchants to settle and so that I can earn money from bringing goods in addition to receiving rewards. The phone number was left because of business at that time. She proposed adding me on WeChat but was politely refused by me. Because Evie didn't allow me to add any girls WeChat. Alex didn't mind. She never forced me and never asked for extra benefits. Many times I felt that she spent money lavishly in my live broadcast room every day without fail. It was not for some late-night fantasy but more like experiencing some kind of fun of nurturing. So in my heart, she is closer to the image of an intellectual and mature female boss. The most overstepping thing Alex did was just to ask me privately through the platform if I was in trouble when she sensed something wrong with my live broadcast state. At that time, I was under too much pressure and needed an outlet too much. So I couldn't help telling her about Evie's illness. Once there is a first time, there is a second time. From then on, she became my exclusive sounding board. All my troubles that I couldn't tell others had a place to pour out. I don't know what her real name is, what occupation she is in, or what she looks like. But I know that there is a very beautiful woman silently supporting me in this world. I was able to get through that dark time. She is indispensable. On the day I uninstalled the live broadcast software, I also felt reluctant, facing such a confidant who supported me unconditionally in the trough. It's impossible not to have a little bit of a crush. But at that time, I loved Evie so much. She is the person I want to spend my life with. I am willing to cut off all possibilities for her. Alex didn't try to persuade me to stay like others did. She just sent the best wishes. As in every time before, she received everything from me naturally and calmly. I had a secret that couldn't be told. But that was it. But now, after experiencing betrayal and slander and being pulled by her again, that flame that was once cruelly extinguished by me seems to flare up again. Barbie dolls can also be intellectual and domineering. Alex playfully snapped her fingers. Underestimating a beauty will lead to a big loss. Yes. Boss A is right. Boss A is domineering. I played the role of a sycophant cooperatively. Still calling me by my online name? She stretched out her hand and smiled. Let's get to know each other again. My name is Luna. You can call me Luna. I am Roman. By the way, is the surname Q you have the one I'm thinking of? Luna shrugged helplessly. Yes. Q Shen is my father. I am the legendary third child of the Q family. Q Shen is the richest man in China. He has 2 sons and a daughter. The 2 sons are both prominent figures in the business world. And this little daughter, who is said to be extremely spoiled, has never officially shown her face in public. Why don't you speak? Luna's face showed some disappointment. Won't you be scared by my identity too? Too? She lowered her eyes and said, because of this identity. It's very difficult for me to make pure friends since I was a child. Those people are either too polite or too attentive. I don't like it. No wonder you never wanted to show your face. This identity is indeed a bit scary. I smiled faintly and said sincerely. But I am very willing to be your friend. Luna. What if I don't just want to be your friend? Luna instantly withdrew her previous girly demeanor and raised her eyebrows charmingly. I held my breath and asked blankly. What do you mean? She didn't answer directly. Just looked at me with a smile. Until my entire ear was completely red. She then shook a business card in front of my eyes. I want to be your boss. Come and be an artist in our company. Although Eggplant Entertainment has just been established, it is backed by the Me is Hen Group. She shook her hair domineering lie. I will make you the unexpected superstar in Chinese language cinema. Whether entering the entertainment industry or becoming Luna's employee is something unimaginable in my previous life. After smoking 2 cigarettes in the restroom, and still not being able to decide, I could only go back to the private room first. Unexpectedly, I bumped into unexpected guests in the corridor. Evie was beaming as she held Ace's arm. The smile on her face froze the moment she saw me. Are you following me? She frowned and scolded preemptively. Can't you understand that we broke up? Roman. As an adult, can't you have some self-respect? I'm afraid he doesn't have much self-respect now. I said with a playful smile. Are you satisfied with the big gift I gave you? If there weren't so many cameras around, my fist would probably have swung already. But at this moment, I don't want to cause trouble for Luna here. Gift? I pointed at Evie and raised the corner of my mouth. Do you mean helping me recycle garbage? Then I do owe you a thank you. After all, without you, this sucker, this little useless person probably couldn't pay back a penny. Garbage? Useless? Evie was so angry that she laughed. Roman, there's no need to play the act of hating because of love, right? I know you're angry that I left and made you lose face. But what can you compare with him? She said aggressively. How many new clothes and bags have you bought for me in these 3 years? Do you know how embarrassed I was when someone exposed that I was carrying a fake bag on the subway? But on our first date, he gave me a new model of a luxury brand. 5? 8? I really don't remember. I only remember that I haven't bought one for myself. So you're only worth a bag? I laughed. Then that's quite cheap. Is this just about a bag? This is the gap between the rich and the poor. She gave me a disdainful look and leaned closer to Ace. A good bird chooses a good tree to perch on. Haven't you heard this sentence? Oh, what a big bird. A female voice interrupted. Luna saw that I hadn't returned for a long time and came out to look for me. When she bumped into this situation, she immediately held my hand. Why is there still a beast standing next to this bird? She said exaggerated. Evie's face was so distorted with anger. Who are you? Big sister. What does our conversation have to do with you? Luna blinked innocently. Of course it has something to do with me when you talk to my boyfriend. She stood on tiptoe and touched my face affectionately. Honey, weren't you scared by this Miss Bird, who speaks so harshly? Take a step back. Otherwise, you'll catch bird flu. Evie was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. She impatiently nudged Ace with her elbow. Say something. Just watch me being bullied by this bitch. From the moment Luna appeared, Ace's mouth had been gaping in shock. Only when Evie bumped into him did he come to his senses. With a slap, Evie was slapped to the ground by Ace. Did you hit the wrong person? Evie covered her face and said, "Shut up. You fool," I skicked her and then turned to Luna, "And is he thag you never use?" "I'm sorry. I didn't recognize Mount Tai before and offended Mr. Chu. I apologize to both of you here. All the expenses of the two of you today will be on my account." Luna has never shown her face to the public. But it doesn't mean these rich second generations don't know her. Us is bad but not stupid. How could he be willing to offend the Q family for a canary and affect his family's business? Theft. Luna didn't even look at him. She said with a light smile to me, "It seems that any Tom, Dick, or Harry can invite the Q family to dinner now." Seeing that she was unmoved, Us made a tough decision and knelt down. While slapping himself, he cursed himself as a beast. Being disgusted by something nasty. "Let's go out and get some fresh air with me." Luna ignored him, and took my hand and walked out. I followed her numbly. Behind us came the quarreling voices of two people. "What's wrong with you? Are you possessed? Shut up. You bitch. Loser. Jinx." Us knew that this matter couldn't be settled easily today. In a fit of anger, he slapped her a few more times. Evie had also been spoiled by me over the years and developed a haughty temperament. Seeing that Ace had no more affection for her, she also started to fight back. "You think I'm a pushover? Softy. 3-second man." I really didn't expect Evie to have such a rich vocabulary. I couldn't help looking back. I saw that the two had already started fighting. The waiter helplessly stood by, and couldn't intervene at all. In a secluded place, Luna let go of my hand. How was my acting? She leaned against the railing and smiled slyly. I praised, "If Luna enters the entertainment industry, without relying on family background or beauty, she will definitely win an actress award." Luna curved her eyes. "As's wife is divorcing him. I think today's surveillance video can help him leave with nothing. Do you feel relieved?" "Half relieved," I said. "I am not a saint." Seeing the enemy kneel down and slap himself. The person who betrayed me being abandoned and trampled on. Those who humiliate and oppress others with money and power finally kneeling down under greater money and power. It's false to say that I'm not happy. But all of this is only because of Luna's help. More precisely, it's because of the Q family. Still, the logic of money above all else wins. I am always a loser nobody. This relief is not so carefree. I think you have made a decision. Clever as Luna is, she has already guessed my answer. If you are confused by something, then possess it first. I couldn't help asking her. But why me? Although I'm not ugly, I'm not so handsome that everyone loves me. Moreover, I'm now full of scandals. It's not an easy task to promote me. Because you are my friend. Luna said this as naturally as taking an umbrella on a rainy day. Just this? I still couldn't believe my luck. I believe in your character and also your charm. She winked playfully. I also hope you believe in my vision and my means. Under the moonlight. Luna smiled arrogantly. The sea breeze blew her long hair and dazzled my eyes. I heard my heart pounding wildly. I was bewitched and said, "I believe." In just one night, my online image has undergone earth-shaking changes. Taking off clothes to save girlfriend. Contemporary mailboat Histafa. These two hashtags replace the original top to hot searches. Luna hired someone to write an essay for me. She spent a large amount of money on marketing and topping the hot search list, revealing the truth of the matter, with conclusive evidence. The netizens who criticized me yesterday seemed to have amnesia overnight and suffered from praise syndrome. Even if I was asleep in the middle of the night, I had to wake up and slap myself. I'm so damn wrong. This is not a scumbag. This is a saint. If a man would do this for me, I would definitely marry him, without hesitation instead of exposing him online. That woman deliberately misrepresented the more than 10 million treatment expenses as living expenses. Just to make everyone attack the male lead. Contemporary farmer and snake. Mr. Dong Guo and the wolf. By the way, his figure is so great. There are so many men showing their bellies on the street in summer and no one cares. Why is a handsome guy showing his ABS scolded? That's right. Can't we girls have something good to look at? Seeing that passers-by had changed their attitudes, the voices of my fans from my live broadcast room became louder. My ID in the live broadcast was Dare Not Sleep. Fans like to call me Brother Sleep. Great. My idol is not ruined. Brother Sleep is the best. By the way, when will Brother Sleep resume broadcasting? I can't sleep without your live broadcast. Brother Sleep returned all the gifts after the farewell live broadcast. If he was a greedy person, how could he do this? When asked why he entered this industry before, Brother Sleep never said. It turned out to be to save his girlfriend. Woo woo woo. What a affectionate man. At the peak of public opinion, the official account of Eggplant Entertainment posted a message. Welcome Rome and Dare Not Sleep to join Eggplant Entertainment. Below is attached a 9-square grid of photos taken by Luna for me personally. Netizens became even more excited, finally seeing Brother Sleep's real face. So handsome. So handsome. So wearing a mask was to seal his beauty. Those who said that taking off the mask would be a disaster. Come out and be spanked. Husband. I declare that you are my new husband. Thank you, Miss White Lotus, for not marrying him. From now on, I am Brother Sleep's new wife. New wife. Looking at the continuously skyrocketing numbers, I was very calm inside. These casually spoken likes will dissipate without the wind. And the person who unconditionally believed in me in the trough is the only precious one. Teasing is not a glorious thing, but when there is a touching and morally valuable story behind it, the impact of a dramatic reversal is far greater than a simple good thing, turning danger into opportunity, and taking advantage of the situation. In this era of traffic supremacy, Luna effortlessly made my debut night attract worldwide attention. Luna believes in me. I also repay her with all my strength. In just 3 years, I have risen from an unknown person to a top movie star. For a person to become a superstar, all he needs are top resources, hard work, and talent. And often when you have the first two, the third will show up. In acting, I found my talent in life and also gained an unprecedented sense of accomplishment. Along with it comes fame and fortune. A certain well-known actor once said, "Don't blame the lack of good people around you. After you become popular, there are all good people around you." Indeed, after becoming famous, I have never been looked down upon again. Those who trampled on me and abandoned me in the trough have all attached themselves to me again. But the more they grovel and beg for mercy for the sake of interests, the more disgusted I feel, including my dad and also including Evie. I saw Evie again at a wine table. After a few rounds, when the serious business was almost discussed, it came to the tacit stage. The producer coughed twice and said that there were many people competing for the 2 supporting female roles in the next drama. Later, let the bosses help give some advice when they come in. Haven't the cast for that drama been decided already? Someone asked. The producer said with a wicked smile. We said we would give an opportunity for an interview. We didn't say they would definitely be selected. Whether they can change their fate and the odds depends on whether they can make everyone happy. Hidden rules are very common in the entertainment industry. People with strong qualifications and means can climb to the top along this road. But there are more cannon fodder who are played out and still can't get any good resources. After the assistant director unashamedly put some aphrodisiacs in the wine, a group of beautiful women and rest scantily filed in. They sat down skillfully, and quickly became boneless and found support. Their vulgar makeup, sweet cocoousness, and pungent perfume all made me feel sick. In the deliberately dimmed light, some people have already started to touch. I'm not interested in these. I want to find an excuse to slip away. Unexpectedly, I was called by name by the person next to me. Roman. That person's voice was very familiar. But her appearance was a bit strange. She stared at a silicone face that was hard to recognize its original appearance and said, "I am Evie. In the summer vacation after the college entrance examination, in order to earn tuition fees. I failed on my first assignment for my uncle's debt collection company. Because just at a glance, I fell in love with the girl in a white dress in the debtor's house. She hid behind her father, trembling with fear. When I scared her a little louder, tears fell down, like a little white flower standing alone in the wind and rain. She was extremely pitiful. I was willing to hold an umbrella for this flower for 8 years. But now, not only our relationship has changed beyond recognition, but she also has no trace of her appearance and temperament from back then. After falling out with Ace back then, she quickly attached herself to a new man. The life of a canary was quite comfortable, but she was too greedy and wanted to secretly get pregnant and climb up. As a result, she was beaten to miscarriage by the legal wife of the other party who sent people to her door. Rich people hate trouble the most. After this incident spread in the circle, men would avoid her when they saw her. But for someone like Evie who is used to being kept by others, words like being self-reliant and down-to-earth seem like fantasies. At this time, she thought of me who was doing well in the entertainment industry. She tried every means to approach me, and told me how hard her life was. She said that she had been punished and hoped that I could forgive her for being ignorant and get back together with her. I told her not to daydream. Even if someone pointed a gun at me, I wouldn't go back to her. She then said that she also wanted to enter the entertainment industry. If I didn't agree to get back together with her, at least I should help her find some resources in consideration of the fact that she owed me so much money, so that she could pay off the debt as soon as possible. This time, I didn't even bother to say get lost, and directly blocked her on all platforms. Unexpectedly, when we met again, she had fallen to such a degree. "Oh, this girl knows our best actor Zhu?" Rodrigo by my side teased. "Don't know," I said before Evie could speak. "There are people like this who try to claim a relationship every day." "True." Rodrigo understood and smiled. "Best actor Zhu has found a real phoenix. It's normal not to look at these pheasants." The word pheasant made Evie's eyes tremble. She lowered her head in embarrassment. In these years, she has endured too many beatings, and is no longer the Evie who had the temper to fight with Ace. Now she not only has to endure but also has to endure with a smile. When she looked up again, she had hidden her resentment and put on a charming smile. Evie took the opportunity of toasting to lean on me. "Sorry. I was ungrateful before. This drink is to apologize to you first." "No need." I took the wine glass from her hand and mercilessly pushed her away. Immediately after, I stood up. In the shocked expressions of everyone, I smiled and raised the wine glass above Evie's head and slowly tilted it. The purplish red liquid flowed down, dousing all her dignity and hope. I said softly, "I find it dirty. Hit by a boomerang from many years ago." Evie's face twisted little by little. In the end, she couldn't bear this pain anymore and knelt on the ground, crying loudly. "Guess who I am?" A soft hand covered my eyes from behind. Someone asked playfully. I had a little wine. "Not become stupid." I smiled and said, with such a beautiful voice, "Who else could it be but our Miss Luna?" Luna was satisfied with my answer and mercifully let me see again. "Why are you here?" I put my arms around her and teased. "The big boss personally comes to be my designated driver. I'm afraid it will shorten my lifespan." "To inspect your work." She fanned the wine smell mixed with perfume on my body and sneered. "Didn't your old flame serve you well? Why did you come out so soon?" "Spare me." I raised 3 fingers and swore to the sky. I have no other feelings except wanting to vomit when I see her. Besides, how could a person who has seen the moon be attracted by the sand and stones on the ground again? Sweet talker. Luna scolded with a smile and pushed away my face that wanted to get closer. "Don't get close to me until you take 2 showers and rinse your mouth 3 times. Can we take a shower together?" Rogue. On the day I won my first Best Actor trophy, Luna and I were together. I said, "I finally have the right to stand by your side. For this day. I have worked hard for 3 years." She smiled and shook her head. "When you had nothing, you were the most qualified one." I asked that stupid question again. Why me? Why did you be so kind to me so firmly from the very beginning when I was still an unknown anchor who teases the line? She touched the scar on my hand and asked instead. Do you remember how it came about? Fighting with a criminal? I recalled. In college. I was lining up to buy buns outside the school. The girl in front of me had her bag snatched. So I rushed out. She smiled. I was the unlucky girl whose bag was snatched. This doesn't make sense. I was very puzzled. I couldn't have not noticed such a beautiful girl. Luna glanced at me, half smiling. Because at that time, your mind was all on your girlfriend. You didn't even take a second look at other girls and refused to add their WeChat. I was wrong. I bent down to fingers and made a sensible simulated kneeling flight. Luna was amused by me and continued. At that time, I thought you were handsome and just. Very suitable to be my boyfriend. Unfortunately, you were already taken. So I didn't pester you anymore. Fortunately. Later I accidentally swiped into your live broadcast room and recognized that scar at a glance. I guessed you must have encountered some difficulties and wanted to help you. Later, I knew that you were so hardworking because you wanted to cure your girlfriend's illness. I thought you were very affectionate and responsible, and liked you even more. The more she said, the more sour she became. But sometimes I think, if she can't be cured, will such a good boyfriend have a chance to belong to me? Am I very dark? Don't say that about yourself. I held her hand and kissed it in front of my lips. If it weren't for your selfless help, I couldn't have raised the medical expenses so quickly. Her illness couldn't have been cured either. Luna, you are great, I said. After being betrayed by her, I was very stubborn for a while. I didn't understand why God would punish a good person. I didn't understand where it was wrong to treat a person with a sincere heart. But just now when you said that you had a crush on me so early, I suddenly understood. Sincerity is not wrong. The wrong one is her. And experiencing this mistake is to meet such a good you. If I hadn't lined up to buy buns for Evie, hadn't been forced to become an anchor to cure her illness, and hadn't been condemned by thousands of people because of her, Luna and I might not have come together. In this world of luxury and dissipation, I also mistakenly thought like others that money and power could dominate everything. But this woman told me that what she liked was the me who had nothing but passion and true feelings at the beginning. She made me believe in myself again, and also believe in this world. Being the son-in-law of the Q family is not an easy thing. As soon as our relationship was made public, titles like live-in son-in-law, soft rice man, and resource guy were put on my head. But I don't care. It is an indisputable fact that I have a rich and capable wife who is willing to invest resources for me. And besides steadily acting well in every play to prove that I deserve any resources, I can't and don't need to do more. Later, I won the second, third, and fourth Best Actor awards. The questioning voices gradually disappeared. Later, I became an international movie star and won an Oscar. People began to praise the investment vision of the Q family. On the day I won the Lifetime Achievement Award, Luna, who had already become a grandma, was sitting in the audience with our granddaughter. Wrinkles had already climbed onto her face. But in my heart, she was still as beautiful as when we first met. I said, my life is very happy. This happiness doesn't come from money or awards. Instead, no matter at the peak or in the trough, no matter what I do, there is always a person standing by my side, understanding me, believing in me, and supporting me. I will always love her as she loves me. The audience burst into thunderous applause.